All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our team call. What is today? Today is Monday, May 16th. Holy crap, we're halfway through May already, which is crazy. So I'm glad that you guys were all able to come and hang out tonight. I am going away this week, so I'm happy that this worked out because I don't know. I didn't want to miss another week with you guys, so glad I got out of work on time. So today, I kind of posted in our team page if anyone had any ideas for topics to go over. And Laura actually had a couple good ideas, but the first one, which is the one that we'll do tonight, is to talk about and share ideas for how to invite to specific groups. So, usually every month we are running. You might have a free group that's going on. You might have a group that's more Beachbody program related. There may be sneak peeks that are going on. So that obviously means there are different ways to be inviting people. And this is definitely not a huge strength of mine, if I'm being honest. So I'm actually really excited. Laura, you're being so funny. I'm really excited for us to have this discussion, to share ideas on how we all think would be great ways of inviting to different types of groups. So I'm trying to think if I have any ideas right off the bat, and I apologize. I didn't have enough time to really brainstorm, and so I may be a little scatterbrained today. But of course, forming in general is something that we want to do often with, oh my gosh. Oh, that's cute. Send in silly pics. I love it. So forming is something we want to do with, anyone all the time. We want to be having conversations with people. We want to be learning more about them, just building relationships, gaining trust from them. And, there are times when you can kind of tell from the relationship that it's not necessarily the right time or place to invite them to something. And then there are other times where you can tell that this person would benefit from what you have to offer, based on maybe how the conversation goes. Like maybe they start talking about how they see the posts that you're making and how you're inspiring them, or maybe they talk about how they didn't do so well with eating and they want to get back on track or whatever. So of course, with your forming relationships, you're going to run into situations where it may be a little too soon to necessarily invite, so you want to just keep forming with them. But then it gets to a point where the opportunity presents itself, and you definitely want to jump when that opportunity happens. So depending on the groups that you're offering, obviously is what you would invite them to. So let's say you planned a free group that you wanted to have. That's kind of one of the ones that you can more so almost randomly invite people to, in my opinion, depending on, what you feel like. If you feel like they would be interested, because it's a free group, so it's not really anything that necessarily will cost them anything. So I don't know, I feel like you can invite people more easily to those types of groups, but it's the challenge groups that can be a little bit more challenging because that requires people to buy something. Not always. I mean, kind of like what we talked about last week, we're going to help people anyways, but in general, the idea is to hook them up with the program and with the shakes. So that can be a little bit more challenging. I feel like I'm totally sucking at this right now. This is a topic that I struggle with, so I don't know how much insight I'm going to have, if I'm being honest. Does anyone have anything they want to add right now? No. Katie raised her hand. I've never seen that before. What does that mean? Do you need me to unmute you? Hang on. Maybe that's what you mean. I don't know what to do.
Hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So I actually got this idea from Danielle Richard. And what she's been doing, and I kind of piggybacked on that, is she'll post a transformation post and then message the people right after, pretty much like within 2 days. And then I kind of built on that, and I started inviting them almost immediately because they would reply and say, "Oh, you're doing such a great job. You're inspiring. Like, I need to get motivated." I'm like, "Great. I have an awesome place for you." And I've been inviting them to a free group to start, and then working with them from there.
That's a great idea. You definitely want to take advantage of situations like that when you post something and people are liking it or they comment on it. And you can even just simply say, thanks for the support. It's not easy for me to put this out there. I think Danielle actually said this before too,
Exactly.
And then that kind of gets the conversation going, because them liking it usually means they're supporting you. Like, they're basically, that's like a, I don't know, virtual high five in my opinion. Or it might mean like, I kind of like that and I would be interested in doing that too, but I don't know if I have the guts right now to reach out to her and say something. So that's why it's so important for you to at least reach out to them and say, thanks for the like and the support. And you can flat out ask them, like, if you're interested in learning more, definitely let me know. But if that like was just for support, then I really appreciate it. Like, that means a lot to me. And then they either may be interested in learning more or they may not. But it kind of, again, just could even just spark a conversation, and you might just continue forming with them from that point on, if, maybe it's a not right now type of situation. But still, it's
right.
Definitely want to reach out to people. So that's a great point.
And I'm doing like a needs assessment too. So I looked on some of Caleb Thomas's videos, and he doesn't even like say the name of the program at all until the very end. Like, I'll ask them about it. Like, so, you told me that you only have like a half an hour a day tops to commit to this. You told me that you have a hard time getting breakfast in you because you're rushing out the door. And I have a solution that will work for you because you told me all of these things. You confirm it from like earlier parts of the conversation.
That is a very good point as well. Katie's on fire. I love that. And that's
I have to tell you guys that has been my bread and butter, what I had told to Katie. I just sold a challenge pack to somebody who had liked a couple of my transformation posts, but nothing else. And I first was just reaching out to people that were commenting, but now I'm starting to reach out to the people who are just liking it. And I'm getting way more response, actually. And I think it's just sometimes people are afraid to reach out. So don't be afraid to reach out to those people that are just liking, or even if they're not commenting or liking, but maybe you think, their posts are showing some sort of, inclination that they may be ready for a challenge group or something like that. Because, I've had a lot of unexpected challenge packs over the last 2 months, just from people that I've reached out to, and they happened pretty quickly. One, she jumped in the Shakeology 7-day group and then bought 21 Day Fix, very quickly. And I just wasn't expecting that. So it's giving me more confidence to reach out to people who are liking it, and you never know who's out there watching and may need our help. So I'm kind of getting over that fear of like what people are going to think, and the more and more I see that it's helping people, and there are people out there that, even though if they're not commenting or liking, need our help and want our help. So that's making it a lot easier. So hopefully that helps out a little bit.
Yes, it's so true. And it is true, because it is intimidating for some people to reach out to one of us when, they see us posting our accountability, and they, when I think back to when I was in a place that I didn't want to be and I wanted to get back on track, and I saw other people doing it, I almost like got annoyed at them because I was jealous, basically. So, that happens for a lot of people as well. So definitely any likes or comments is encouraged. You're encouraged to reach out to them, even just to thank them, if anything. And I think thanking them first will mean a lot to them too, versus, you know, you don't want to straight up be like, oh, I saw you liked my post. Like, do you want to join me or whatever? You know, you want to appreciate the fact that they liked it and thank them for the support. And then, you know, simply ask if they are interested. And if not, like, your support means a lot to me. And I think that I heard that talked about, you know, forming like that way from one of the trainings. And I liked how it circled back to, you know, because you're asking if they're interested, but I like how they circle back to, if not, no biggie, like, thanks for the support anyways. That really means a lot. Like, I think people will appreciate that type of response and respond well to it. And I just had a thought and I think I lost it. Oh, I was also thinking about how, I think I learned this from somebody who was sharing invite strategies to a coaching sneak peek, but I think it can apply for any type of group, is just kind of offering them a compliment, like saying why you think they would be a good coach, like specifically for a coach sneak peek. If you know somebody who posts a certain way and you feel, or who like lives a certain way, or who wants to make changes in their lives, and you know that they would be really good at this, tell them that when you're inviting them. Be like, in certain cases, that can be a random invite if you're just like, listen, and you're being honest with them, like, listen, like, I'm trying to build my team of coaches, and you are so the type of person that would flourish in this. Like, I would love to have you on my team. You know, compliment them, say your posts are so positive, or whatever it is. Like, give them some sort of, and obviously you want it to be genuine. You're not going to, you know, make stuff up, but whatever you feel, the reason that you're drawn to them, the reason you want to invite them to your coach opportunity, there's obviously something about them that you really like. So tell them that, so that they don't feel like you're just inviting them to invite them, and that you just want to add people to your team. Like, you genuinely want to add this person because you want to benefit them, and because you know they'd be a rock star at it. And that totally changes that type of invite as well. And I think it's valuable to point those things out to people, because they might not feel that way themselves. You know, they might not see that they could be good at something like this. They might not believe that they could do it. They might not be at a place in their life where they feel like they could be a health and fitness coach for other people. And I feel like that's such a common misconception, that you have to, you know, be in really good shape and be really healthy in order to be a coach. Like, that's so not true. So, you know, definitely reaching out to people who you like want on your team, and you know would be really good at this, and just telling them why, I think is a really good way of inviting to the to sneak peek or coach opportunities and stuff like that, or even to challenge groups, but more so to coach opportunities, I would say. Trying to think, does anyone have any other things they want to add?
Just sort of add to what Danielle was saying along the same lines, is that, like, sort of transformation posts. Like, I've noticed, and I was journaling about this the other day, that there's sort of a symbiotic relationship between the workout posts and, like, the really positive upbeat posts, and then the more vulnerable posts, like your transformation story, or sharing something personal that might not be, you know, super upbeat. And what I've found is I get more likes and comments on the vulnerable posts than I do on the other posts. But the other posts are important, because the workout posts and the Shakeology posts and the product posts lend credibility to your business. Sorry, Ernie's freaking out. So it's like credibility versus vulnerability. Like, you need the credibility. People need to know that it's a business and that you are a coach. But those are the posts that they're going to be intimidated to like or comment on, because they don't want people seeing that they're commenting on it. It's a little bit more. But then when you're vulnerable and you post something that they can really relate to, whether it's a transformation or whether it's something about, you know, your personal life or whatever the case may be, they're much more likely to interact with that, because then it's sort of like that shared vulnerability. The wall is down. So it's a good sort of balance to have both of those posts. And it kind of reminds me of like the jab hook thing, like in a different way, in a more personable way. But like, you're setting things up with your credibility, and you're showing people that you're a coach and that you mean business. But at the same time, you're willing to sort of break down the wall and share a little bit of yourself And that's kind of when you can catch them and say, okay, well, you liked that, you commented, let's talk about that piece of it. Why did that, that's something we now have in common, that vulnerability versus the workout stuff.
That is a very good point. I totally agree. And I like that you pointed out too how certain posts that you do get more attention than others, but yes, it is still important to do all types of posts. Like if you're sharing your fitness journey or like sharing your vulnerabilities or sharing stuff about you, like, yeah, people are gonna, and it also depends on the time of day that you're posting it too. So it might not necessarily be the post itself, just, it happened to maybe not be at a good time, but it's kind of like the same thing with challenge groups. Like if you're not getting a lot of interaction in a challenge group, it's still beneficial to keep up with the posts, and you may be the only one posting in the group, but that could be inspiring one person in that group, and they may be uncomfortable and they may not want to participate in the group, but they're watching what you're doing, they're seeing your posts, and they're behind the scenes kicking butt, and they may not be making that public, but you may be still inspiring them just even if you're the only person posting. And I remember one of Caleb's videos, he talked about how his first challenge group was him and one other person, and that didn't stop him from still running that challenge group, which I think is awesome. So everyone's comfort levels are different, and it is kind of scary to put yourself out there in a group of people that you don't know. But it's still valuable to share what you're doing and to offer inspiration and motivation to people no matter what, especially on your Facebook page too, so that it's, more people are realizing that you're consistent, you're doing your workouts, you're serious about the business because you're posting about it. So it will attract kind of more people to you, because they're not going to look at your page and randomly see you like on and off and think, well, she's, doesn't really care about it that much if you can't keep up with it, which, obviously there are certain reasons where you may not be able to keep up with things all the time, but generally speaking, more often than not, if you can keep up with it. And then making, sometimes for us coaches, it's scary to make posts about the business, or you may not know how to word those posts, but certain things like that just honestly kind of come with practice. Try something, see how it works. I think it's important to do those types of posts, like maybe once a week or maybe once or twice a month at least, to invite people to the business, because the business is where the beauty is. That's where we're working on our health and fitness, and we're helping others do that, but we're also gaining a financial reward, and that is a huge opportunity to be offering to other people. But it can be scary. It can be intimidating to do those kinds of posts. So I think it's definitely important to at least be trying something. And yeah, you may have a couple posts and they totally flop, or maybe nobody responds to them, but that doesn't necessarily mean nobody's seeing them. That again could be one of those situations where people are watching you, they're seeing those types of posts, and they're afraid to reach out to you yet. But then if you keep up with those posts, maybe one day that person who's been watching you for a couple weeks or a couple months will finally like it or something, because they're like, all right, I'm just going to like it this time. And then that's when you reach out to them, and then all of a sudden you're talking to somebody who's been interested in the business but has been afraid to talk to you about it, and boom, maybe you got a new coach right there. Or same with your fitness posts and all that stuff. Like people are watching you, and you may not know it. And that's why it's so important to be consistent and to keep up with all kinds of posts, not just your workouts, not just your shakes. You want to be sharing about your life so people know more about you, and you want to be sharing the business opportunities specifically, like totally separate from other things, because look at Ernie. He wants to be in the video. Because that is such a beautiful, he's so cute. That's such a beautiful opportunity for us to be offering. Like that is a gift. Like, can you guys imagine if this wasn't in your life? Like I can't. And that's what I have to remind myself sometimes. Like if nobody asked me, if I didn't see somebody posting about Beachbody, if I didn't start liking that stuff, she didn't reach out to me, like I wouldn't be here right now. And that that I just can't imagine. So, you know, it's helpful to think of it in that way too, that you're, you know, potentially offering a huge gift to people. So, Katie, did you raise your hand again?
Another thing.
I did raise my hand again.
I love this hand raise thing.
So, one thing I wanted to bring up, kind of piggybacking on what you just talked about, Jackie, is being like just your raw, authentic self. It's so like people just tell me how pure I am when I'm talking to them. Like I just tell them how it is. Don't be afraid to be that person. Like confidence is key. I know we're all working on confidence, but just put yourself out there 100%. Like I posted a picture the other day of me in a tank top. I'm like, look, a year ago I would never have worn this. Today I don't give a shit. I'm myself, and if you don't like it, don't look at it.
Yes.
And I got so many responses. Like I've been messaging everyone that liked it, and it's so important to just be you. It really is.
Mhm.
Don't fake it. If you're faking it, they can tell.
Mhm.
Because I struggled with that in the beginning. I did.
I think we all do. You know, it's hard, and you want to kind of, well, you don't. I don't think anyone ever wants to portray themselves as. The word that's coming to mind is perfect, but that's not really necessarily the word I'm looking for. But it's so important to be vulnerable and to share what's going on in your life, to share when you're struggling too, because if you're always sharing good things and accomplishments, like, yeah, that's great. Not to say that you shouldn't be doing that, but you know, if you're sharing also the times when you're really struggling, then people are going to relate to that, and they're going to say like, well, yeah, I'm struggling too. Like, that's good to know that someone like her who, you know, is working out all the time, or who's a coach or whatever, like they struggle too. Like, that's good to know, you know. I think that helps us relate to people better. And then, yeah, it's absolutely important to be yourself. And sometimes I feel like that can almost be hard to figure out how to do. But, you know, it takes practice too, you know, figuring out what your likes and dislikes are, figuring out what your hobbies are, sharing more about yourself, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to share when you're having hard times about things, or to share things about your past that you've been through and you've overcome. Like, that's not easy to do, but I think it's so important for us to do, because, you know, we're sharing that it is possible to overcome hard things.
Did anyone hear that, or was that just
Yeah, that was my phone.
I'm just making sure I'm not going crazy. Okay.
Yep, no.
Oh my gosh, Laura, I love your owl pillow.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
What? I want to see this. Where is it? What? That's awesome.
I love owls. Sorry.
I love owls. I have a lot of owls around here. My mom was up last week and told me that I need to stop because I was a little upset.
So cute.
Ashley, you've been quiet. Huh?
I know. I was going to say, one of the things that's been useful for my, I guess, reach this week, or the last couple weeks, has been starting to do the live videos. It's been super helpful, and it's gotten a lot of, like, right now, before this last few weeks, my page reach was max, like, 2,200. And right now, my page, I think it says it's just under 9,000.
Wow. I gotta get on that shit.
Yeah, 927 right now.
You're killing it. The variety and the different things that you're doing are awesome. And then talk about being authentic. Like, it's impossible to be inauthentic on live video. Like, you have to kind of be yourself, right? If you stumble a little bit, or if you laugh, or if you like do something goofy, like, it's all real and it's all very authentic, which I think they've been awesome. The one you did today with the shake was so funny and so real and just you. And I was just like smiling ear to ear the entire time I was watching it.
But I haven't seen that yet. I have to watch it after this.
I know, I saw it, but I was at work.
You like shakes a little bit when she
That's
I
all.
love you.
It was fun. I liked it. And like my engagement has gone way up too. Like a lot more people have been liking and commenting, even just like some random emoji, but they've been commenting still. So it's at least getting eyeballs.
Yay!
Which is
what
the moral
was life
of the story
before
here.
emojis? Yes, that is very important. Awesome.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'll just quickly say that I've been playing with in the last couple of weeks, and so it's hard to tell whether it's working fully or not, but instead of inviting people to challenge groups or a specific product, I've been inviting them to be coached by me, and it's sort of, the conversation's gone different with each person, but the reason it started was I had a couple of clients that were really turned off by the idea of a challenge group. They're a little bit older. They're not on Facebook a lot. The app thing kind of didn't pan out. I tried like a small group with the app and they didn't really like it. It was like just another thing to have to click on and check. And so with new people that have come on, and it depends on the person. Some people I know would like a challenge group because they're on Facebook a lot or whatever, but some people I know wouldn't. I've really, instead of even bringing up a challenge group, I've just been talking about like, I would really like to help you. My coaching services are free, and then I can match you with a program if you'd like, and I can add you to, like, then I'll talk about all the different ways that I could help them. One of them being a challenge group, but also like we could email, we could text, we could, whatever. And that seems to be really vibing with some people. So again, it's sort of a custom approach. Like if you are forming with somebody, really think about what service or approach you think they would like, and don't just default to challenge group or default to the programs really think about what would work for them and then approach it that way. And again, just like you're selling your brand in your posts, the reason the person's coming to you is because they want to work with you. So it's kind of an interesting different way of doing things to sort of say like, all right, well, let me be your coach, and here's all the different things you can get with me as your coach. One of those things is a challenge group, but there's also all these other things.
I love that. That's such a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. And I feel I agree, because it definitely takes like the pressure off of them almost to like, because I feel like so many people automatically assume when you're in some type of like multi-level, like MLO company or like any types of these things, like they automatically assume your immediate first question is going to be like, will you buy something from me? Not flat out like that, but basically, trying to sell something, because there are so many different companies out there now that are doing stuff. There's the Uluru, there's Mary Kay, there's Rodan and Fields, there's all the It Works, there's Herbalife. Like there's so many now, and people are seeing it a lot more in their news feeds, and there are a lot of them that don't go very well about it. There are a lot of them that invite people into groups without asking. There are a lot of them that do post obnoxious, salesy posts. So I think even though we don't do that, I think people still have the misconception that that's what we're about. So it's so important to do stuff like that and to offer more than just something to sell them, because it ultimately comes down to us wanting to help people get healthier and learn a healthier lifestyle. And yeah, our products help people do that, but they can also, us as coaches, like we can help people do that without the use of products too, which is really awesome. And based off of what we learn from the programs, but just, common knowledge anyways, that we're willing to learn in order to help other people, which I think is so valuable. And that's why I feel like people respond so well to coaches who do it right, because you can tell when when you really want to help somebody. Like they can tell if you really want to help them or not. So that is I love that. That's such a good idea. Thank you for sharing that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say. Does anyone have any specific questions?
I have a quick question. Let me know if my video's not working. For some reason, my computer's like really acting up. But anyways, so I have a feeling you guys are probably all running into this. We kind of touched on it earlier, but Wondering if anybody might have some tips or insight onto getting more traction on like my invite posts, because I feel like my other posts, like my transformations or my recipes, all do great. And then the second I invite to like a challenge group or something like that, it's crickets. So I'm wondering if anybody might have some tips or advice on getting more traction on those posts.
Do you typically post them at a certain time of the day? Have you noticed? Just out of curiosity. Like
Are they from your like page? Are they from your like page?
I don't think I haven't been paying attention closely. I try not to post them on the weekends. I try and do them during the week, but time of day I haven't really paid too much attention to. That's a good point.
Try to think.
If you're doing them from your like page, then you should go into insights and look at the hours that most of your people are on.
I wish you could do that. I wish we could see that stat for our personal pages. That'd be so helpful.
I know.
But so I guess I would suggest moving forward to start kind of trying to pay attention to, I mean, obviously, I feel like transformation posts typically do really well because people are like congratulating you or they're wowed by your results. So it's easy to like that type of thing. But the invites probably make you more hesitant because the thought that it might lead to a sale type of thing, which I think that's like a mind block that a lot of people just automatically have towards those things anyways. So that may just be that reason. But, if you're posting certain times a day, try to think like when your posts get a lot of traction, regardless of what type of post it is. And if you figure out there's a time of day where you get a lot of likes or comments, try an invite post at that time and see if that makes a difference. I don't know if it will, but it's definitely, supposedly there's like, I think it's like between 7 and 8 at like 12 and 1 and then like 7 and 8 at night or something are supposedly like the high traffic times, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the same for you because it has to do with who your audience is. You're all the way in California, so you're kind of working with the time difference because you have a lot of family and friends that are over here, so that definitely makes a difference too. But I would say first off to try, I mean, it's kind of hard. I think it's kind of challenging a little bit to pay attention to timing, but if you think of it, see if maybe there's a certain time of day and try it at that time. But I personally think your posts are always speak well. I don't know that I would necessarily say you need to change much about how you do the invites. I mean, I think that you always share part of your story. You always share, hesitations that you had, but how you jumped in and you're so happy about it. Like, I feel like the wordings that you use are really good. So I wonder if it may be timing or just people still being kind of a little bit hesitant. Maybe.
What do you say typically to prompt people? Do you tell them to message you if they want to join? Or?
Yeah, I always end it with comment below or send me a personal message if you're interested or for more information.
You could maybe say like. Do you say like or comment, or you just say comment? I forget what you said. Sorry.
I usually just say comment. That's a good idea to say like or comment.
Because I feel like some people may be afraid to comment, but maybe a like is a little less, I don't know, intimidating or something.
I never get comments on invites.
I don't really get a lot of comments either.
And I'll get messages.
Yeah.
Most people will private message. They won't comment at all. But likes or messages are usually a good.
Yeah, I feel like people are afraid to sometimes to comment because other people will see it.
Yes.
So, and they don't necessarily want other people to know that they're interested, not for the sake of, I think more like personal, like
Yeah.
like uncomfortable with it being public for whatever reason, which is common. I mean, I would think most people probably feel that way. So that could be part of it too. You know, commenting.
Yeah.
So offering like comment or like shoot me a message or shoot me an email or something, like giving them options can be good so that they can choose kind of which way they want to go about it. But definitely having a call to action is a huge must. Or you couldn't even say like, drop me a silly emoji or something.
Another thing too is like urgency. Like talk about the few spots you have left, and you're more likely to get someone to message you.
I know, I've heard a lot of people use that. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously it's personal preference, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel weird maxing out. I mean, I know people just say that to just say it. I don't think they actually max out their group.
So I explain to each person why I'm maxing it out. I break it down in hours. So I'll say, you know, I'm going to be working with you one-on-one, and this is how many hours I'm going to put into it every week talking to you. So I say, there's only so many hours in a day. I have a full-time job. I'm doing this in personal advice. And I've actually found it helpful to briefly talk about it on an invite post.
Interesting. So that's a good point, because that actually does add value to being in the group.
Right.
If it is less people and you are going to offer more time one-on-one. It's a really good idea.
I don't do the only Facebook left, but I have definitely not I'm only keeping the group to 5 people. I'm limiting the group to 10 people. Maybe. I think that urgent also makes it people.
Hang on. I'm gonna mute everyone. I can't really hear you. Something's
somewhere.
Oh geez. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that not only does it lend urgency to sort of put parameters around the size of your group, but it also makes it a little bit more intimate and personal for people that are scared or intimidated by being part of some large group with people they don't know. So some of the same people that might be weirded out about commenting about a public group are probably people that don't want to share their weight loss journey with 50 strangers. So when you kind of say it's going to be a group of 5 people or a group of 8 people, they're like, all right, well, that's a manageable group. Like, that's not going to be, I always say it's a private group. I always say that it's a small group because I like to kind of give people that feeling that it's a safe zone. I don't know if that makes sense.
That is actually a really good point. I don't know why I haven't thought of it that way. So thank you for explaining that. That's a really good idea. And I like that too, because then, what? Sorry.
Some people are obviously really comfortable with big groups. I mean, you see the big corporate groups that are like hundreds and hundreds of people, and people post in there all the time. So for some people, it's fine, but for other people, they might just be more comfortable with the smaller group feel.
I like that, and I kind of feel like it allows you to be almost more like it's more personal, and it allows you to have a better relationship with the people in that group, because it's true. Like when there's a lot of people in a group, it can get overwhelming. People's posts can get lost because there's a lot of posts going on, or there may be no posts at all because people are like, well, I don't want to be the first one to post. I have all these people, so. That's a really good idea. I never really thought of it that way. Awesome. Does anyone have any other ideas or questions they want to share?
Ashley, do you want to talk about your sneak peek?
Yes.
So I'm still slightly terrified, but it's going to happen anyways.
Yes.
But it's going to be super small. I know that most of the people in there are coaches themselves already, but I do have 2 that are non-coaches and one that I basically already consider because she's signing up on Friday, thankfully.
Yay.
I've been working on her since I started, so it's been a long time coming.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it'll be good. I have to record more tomorrow. I have other ones that I need to redo to personalize, I guess. But it should be good.
It's gonna be good. Not should. It will.
I made Tom rewatch it for me today too. So I was able to rewatch it again myself, and I like it so far. So it's good.
Good. Well, congrats. I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Hopefully, or I mean, it's not hopefully, but it'll definitely be good. It's just brand new, so it's like, ooh.
But that's the only way to get better, right?
Yeah, ripping off the Band-Aid.
Yep.
Because
Awesome.
I'm planning to do them every month, so I'll at least be able to get this first set of videos done, and then I'll probably redo them and make it better.
Yeah.
But it'll at least be a first draft.
Love it. That's so awesome. I'm excited. Is it in the group that you invited me to today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Good. Yay.
Yeah, I'm taking everybody who said either yes or that they were interested for the event and putting them in the group.
Oh, perfect. Good. Awesome.
And then your 60-day group started today? Is that true, or is it next week?
I actually don't know. We never really talked about that. We kind of like briefly did. I was thinking of starting one next week because I realized that I was going away this week.
I'm starting a 3-week one next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Laura, did yours start today?
I didn't have anybody join it, so no, did not.
Okay.
But like the last couple of challenge packs I've sold have been people that didn't want challenge groups, so I've been working one-on-one with them, and then I added 2 people to my evergreen group that haven't purchased yet, but are,
Yeah.
slow
I
burn.
seem to have a lot of the same people in my free groups, but I've already scoped out their initial situation, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I know I gotta move on from that.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
I was thinking of starting one next week called Find Your After. So I don't know if anyone wants to. I mean, obviously you're all welcome to join, always. So I just posted my first invite tonight though, so I don't know. I don't know if there will be many people, but either way, I need it for myself, so I'm still gonna run it.
Mhm. I know I need to get back to being a good challenger. I've kind of lost. I've been
Me
so
too.
business stuff that I even in my evergreen group, I just realized this morning that I hadn't posted my own workout in 2 weeks. I was like, shit, I need to get back to being a challenger in this group.
I know it is hard to balance it all, but I need to get better at I need to get better at going down the list in the power hour and doing all of that stuff before I let myself get distracted. Because that's one of the things that gets lost for some reason more often for me is, remembering to post in all the groups. So thank God Facebook lets you rearrange. So I've been putting them up at the top of my Facebook screen so I can see them more visibly, and I'm trying to organize put things in the order of team page and then what challenge groups I'm doing so that I can I see them. So I want to start thinking maybe that'll help me get better at going boom boom boom, posting in all the groups, and then moving on to the next thing. But it all takes balance that we'll figure out over time. Well, I think this was another awesome call. You guys always have such good tips and advice and insight. So thank you so much for sharing everything today. I definitely think this is a really good topic and probably one that we could even, come back to a couple of times as we continue to grow and learn new ways and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of really awesome tips were said in here, and I will probably listen to this a couple times again just to remember them all. So thank you guys for all of your awesome suggestions. Congrats, Ashley, on your sneak peek this week. It's going to be awesome. That's such a big step. I'm proud of you. Katie, I have to say how proud I am of you for your freaking rock star attitude. I love it. That is so awesome. And Maria, I think this is your first time on a call, so welcome and thanks for being here. Yay! I know, she works nights, so the poor thing usually misses them. Oh no, I can't hear you. How come we can't hear you? Oh, I wonder if it's because you're on your phone, but that's weird. Are you able to chat in the chat box? I don't know if that's even an option from the phone. Oh, bummer. Well, we're wicked happy that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Thumbs up. All right, well, I am back next week, so I'll definitely post probably earlier in the week a couple options for when we can have our call next week. And thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have an awesome week. Let's kill it. We're halfway through May, so still half a month left. All right, have a good night, you guys.